I'm Jenefer, I'm the founder of Silk Helix, and in this video I'm answering the question, when someone returns from maternity leave, do they have the right to change their hours? Now this is a question that I often get asked and comes up because somebody will be in a role doing a job, they will go off on maternity leave, then when they're due to come back they say, yeah, I'm coming back, but I now can't start work before 9 o'clock, or I need to leave work earlier than I have been because of childcare reasons. Often employers find themselves kind of stuck in this situation. Often people come to me because years down the line this is still an issue, and then actually becomes another issue when the child goes to school and they get told, oh actually now I can't start until these hours, and things kind of gradually change, and the employer will come to me and say, but this isn't working for us. What can we do? Why are we doing it? And the problem by that point is much greater because the employer has allowed it to happen. So how do we deal with this? Somebody's coming back from maternity leave and they tell us that they need to change their hours, they can't work the hours they were for whatever reason, and it could just be I've got to arrive 15 minutes later, it could be I've got to leave 15 minutes earlier, it could be something really simple. But in some industries, that has a major impact. It's a little bit different when you're in perhaps office work, where it doesn't matter where, when, how the work is done, it just needs to get done. If you're, let's say, a receptionist and reception is open till 6 o'clock and your receptionist is saying, well, I need to leave at 1:45, it can be quite a big issue. So when somebody returns from maternity leave, they have the right to return to the job that they were in before. Now, there's some technicalities here in terms of if they return after 6 months, then they're entitled to return to exactly the same job. If they return after 12 months, it's similar terms and conditions. There's slightly different wording. The reality is, in most cases, the only way that a small employer would cope with it is to say you're entitled to return to the job that you left. And fundamentally, when it comes to terms and conditions like hours of work, they are entitled to return to the job that they left. If they can't do that for whatever reason, or don't want to do that, it doesn't matter what their reasons are, then they have the right, assuming that they've got 26 weeks service and somebody that's been on maternity leave and worked for you before, of course, will have that. They have the right to request flexible working. And that's ultimately what this is. It's often a mistaken belief that somebody coming back from maternity leave can just dictate what it is they're coming back to. No, they can't. They can come back to the job they left, but if they need changes, they need to ask for them. And as an employer, you need to consider that as a flexible working request. I've got other videos where I go in detail about dealing with a flexible working request and how you do that. I'll put a link in the description below to that video. It's worth having a look at that as well. But fundamentally, if they need to change anything, they should be coming to you and saying, this is what I need when I return. I need flexible working. I need to start work later, finish work earlier. I need to work from home. I need to, whatever it is that they need to change, they need to come and ask you. And they don't have an automatic right to get that. They should be considered. Their request should be listened to. Their request should be taken seriously. You've got reasons that you can turn down a flexible working request. Things like where it will become a detriment to the business. There is current talk in government around kind of changing that, making it harder for employers to turn down flexible working requests. And clearly, if this is somebody that's got skills, experience, value in your business, and they need that change, then consider that you may well lose them if you can't give that. If they can only find childcare, which means that they need a change in hours, then they may just need to look for alternative employment. So it's worth considering that. But of course, you've got to balance out with the business, because if fundamentally the change they're asking for really isn't going to work and is going to harm the business, then you'll need to look for somebody who can do that and can provide what you need, or look for a different way of doing it. And it may be that you can come to an alternative arrangement where there's a different way or a different role they can take on. So really think about it wider than this, and in terms of the business, what the business needs, the challenges in retaining and recruiting people, and think about what would happen if you lost them from employment. It's worth balancing all these things up because you're in control of these decisions and you're in control of whether or not you can accommodate this and the reasons that you can give for that. Often that can raise another question, which might be, well, actually they weren't performing before they went on maternity leave, or we've had somebody else in, we've discovered issues while they were gone. These are separate issues. These shouldn't be dealt with as part of that flexible working request. We need to keep those separate, deal with them separately as performance issues. And take advice if you do need to deal with these issues because it can become complex. But fundamentally, to wrap up, someone returning from maternity leave is required, entitled to come back to the hours that they left. If they need something different, if those hours don't work for them anymore, they need to put in a formal flexible working request. I strongly recommend that you push back to them if they are saying that to you. Just say, yeah, put in a flexible working request. Don't be afraid of it. Don't panic about it. Ask them to put in that request and make it formal. Go through the process. Deal with that request properly. Make sure you fully consider it. Only turn it down by the 8 reasons that you're able to do so. And then you can go forward knowing that you've come to an agreement, that you've either compromised or you've said, no, we can't do this, or you've given them what they need, but you've done that because it works for your business, it works for them, but you've got something formal, it's in writing and it's agreed, and you don't end up with this kind of trickle of changes that actually don't really suit what the business needs. If you've got any questions on managing flexible working requests, pop them in the comments below and I do my best to answer every single comment. If you like my videos, don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss a single one.